I'd like to talk today. I appreciate you tuning in on Thoughts Roundup. I'd like to talk a little bit about leadership. Leadership. Leadership is an amazing thing. Of course, that's what makes the wheels turn. Now, there are some people, contrary to one school of thought, there are born leaders. And they just are leaders. People rally to them and listen to what they have to say. And then there, of course, are leaders that are made, or maybe we should say trained. It's just like some people are just born musicians. They just can play. They just pick it up. Sometimes the little kids start playing and singing and so forth, and it's just in them. But there's a lot of fine musicians that had to be trained and taught in school, and they had to practice where a lot of times others did not. Trained and born. President Truman said, it's getting people to do, leadership is getting people to do what they don't want to do and like it. And I think that last part is so applicable to this. And like it. And like it. Vince Lombardi said, coaches are a dime a dozen that can put plays on a blackboard. But it takes a coach with ability and talent and training to get inside a player's head and make him understand and make him want to do it. Probably two of the greatest words in leadership is the words buy-in. Buy-in. People have to buy into a person's vision, to their leadership concepts and ideas. They have to buy into it. And unless they buy into it, you're really not going to get out of them what you really need to make the wheel spin. I read some time ago a caption that said, those that create lead. I think it needs to be turned around and said different. I think it should read, those that lead create. You know, God was creator. And there's so much that God has allowed us to do on a small scale of what he did on a big scale. And he has put inside of a lot of people creativity, the ability to create. And it all has to do with leadership. Now, let me say it like this. Many times a person has to create their way out of problems instead of just waiting on someone to take over and someone to help them and someone to give them something or make a way for them some way. We have to create our way out of problems. I remember when I was voted in as home missions director full-time in the state of Texas. It's been probably 50 years ago or a little less. I was the first full-time home missions director. And so we had our office a new office on East Tex Freeway in Houston. And I remember going into headquarters and brand newly elected. I asked the secretary, I said, how much money does the home missions department have on hand? And he said, $200. Oh, goodness. I was going to have to buy a new car. I was going to have to pay my own salary. I had to have an office there in headquarters. I had to pay a secretary. Building new churches had to have help. And, well, what I did was, instead of running around hollering, what am I going to do? I locked myself in for 2 days. And I thought about it. And I prayed about it. And I thought, how can I do this? What will it take to get the interest of people enough to help? And, well, 2 days later, I walked out with a plan. And I had the letters already written that I was going to write to the pastors. I had the brochures already drawn off in rough draft. And everything that I was going to have to do and how to do it. And so, let me just say it like this. Just shortly, I paid cash for a new car. I never missed a paycheck. The office was funded. Secretary was paid. And we started doing all kind of outreach. Creativity. Of course, I'm not dismissing what God did. If God hadn't helped, nothing would work. But I believe God expects us to do our part. Martin Luther King in Washington, whenever he had people in the palm of his hand, thousands of people screaming and hollering back at him, egging him on. He said, I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. And he went into telling his dream, what his dream was. People bought into it. And thank the Lord, people are still bought into it today. That one speech, I have a dream. I have a dream. Let me say what the Bible said. The Bible says, without a vision, people perish. Without a vision, people perish. But you have to it's not enough for you to just be. It's not just enough for you to just have your thoughts together and have your dream and what you want done. No. You got to have folks buy into that vision. And that vision has to become theirs. They have to get to feeling just the same as you do, because they know it's needful and they want it, and they're willing to give, to spend and be spent to help you fulfill that dream. God bless you. Thank you for listening to my little talk today. Thank you.